Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and today we are going to be talking about my bad soil. Donnie and I have been working on the project that we're doing in the backyard where we're removing all the grass or covering it up like we did on this side. And we have come across this before in our yard, but I wanted to show you firsthand because I've only talked about it before. And I want to give you some suggestions on what to do because I've been dealing this for almost 10 years now. So if we can get a close up here and we can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if you can see here, this soil is full of gravel, pea gravel, I think. And I think this is part of the reason is like, when we first moved in, there used to be a walkway right here, and it was out from the trailer probably maybe about that far or so. And I think that the old trailer that used to be here was wider than the one that we have now, or it was set in a different place. Either way, this was all underneath the trailer. And what gave us another clue today is that when we were removing the grass, because we're going to make this into more of a flower bed, we found this huge chunk of plastic. Actually, let me go get it and I'll show you. Here is part of the plastic that was underneath here. And it was in pretty much this area right here. And I know that this was from the trailer being here because this is what's under our trailer now. When they put down the trailer, they actually plastic off the whole entire bottom. But the strange thing was, when they put down more soil on top of this, they didn't even bother taking it out. They just put down some soil and threw some grass seed down is what it looks like. So we had no clue that this was even in the soil. The other thing that we have found over the years is garbage, Legos, a whole entire box of nails or screws. I can't remember if it was nails or screws now. Just glass. We found more glass today. We found toys today. There is so much garbage, and it actually went all the way out further than what the trailer was. So I'm not exactly sure. The family here must have lost a lot of toys, I can say that. But because this is so hard and so much gravel in it that you can see here, I can't grow in this. Where the Lucifer plant is and the irises I have now and that area over there on the other side of this garden, I've told you for, the whole entire time I've had my YouTube channel that for years I have been dealing with, I cannot grow anything there. That's why we're going to put something there that we don't actually have to grow in. And I don't want to have to do this here. And I don't want to have to move the planter back that I just took out, because I actually want to be able to grow more flowers over here and everything in ground. I want to be able to grow perennials. And even though I had put perennials in our planter, they didn't come back at all. And I think it's probably because it's off the ground, it's not in ground, they're not as insulated. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have to dig out a lot of the soil. You can see over here that we already dug off all the grass and we just turned it upside down, put it over here. It will help smother the grass that's still underneath there, but it's really bumpy and I want to even it out. So we're going to take the soil out of here and we're actually going to be putting it in over here to kind of even it out, because over this way is always going to be a pathway. We're not going to be actually planting in that area. So I don't mind if there's gravel. I always pick out the trash no matter what. I still pick out the trash. I don't want that going back into the soil. But with the gravel there, it'll be fine. So kind of our next step is we're going to be starting to dig some of this out. Donnie and I dug out all of the gravelly soil and we've been throwing it over here. There's still a pretty big pile. But right over here, I want to show you all the trash that we actually dug out. So if you look down here, looks like a baby food jar, some other little kind of jar. I think it's actually porcelain or something. I don't know, maybe plastic. More trash, more plastic, more screws. So behind our house, in between the trailers, used to be an alley, and that's where they would pick up the trash. So I guess a lot of it they missed because we have dug up so much trash in our yard, and it just ended up getting buried over time. So this is another thing that we're dealing with. So we're hoping most of the trash out. And I only dug back, well, Donnie and I, to about here. But our soil is, oh, look at this. You can see this is clay and it's hard as a rock. So what we need to do is we need to amend the soil, and we're going to be putting in clay buster, but you can also use compost. So once we got down past the trash, and yeah, there's still some gravel in there, and that's okay. Just as long as it's not compacted so tight that it's like cement, then we'll be okay. But what we need to do now is we need to actually turn over all the soil. So we'll be going through here, and we'll just be turning it over, and then we'll have to break it up a little bit, which is going to take us some time. But once we kind of get back to right about here is where the soil is more hard. And then out here is much better soil. It's like when we were taking up the grass, it was much easier to take up the grass here than it was in this area because of the soil back here. And then once we have this kind of just dug over, broken up a little bit, then we can add in the clay buster. So back to work. I think we got another storm rolling in because I feel a few raindrops, and we definitely want to get this done before it starts raining out here because it'll be even muddier than it is now where I'm covered in mud already. All right, so we dug it out, we turned it over. Now it's time to amend the soil. And here's the clay buster. You can purchase this at Lowe's. I've said that before, but I'm not sponsored or anything like that. But I used to be their outside lawn garden manager, so this is really good soil. I can actually say that. All righty. Now, if you don't have this, get some really good compost, because that's almost what all this is. But this is specifically made for our really bad clay soil here. I mean, our clay soil is so bad that it's like sticky. It's really hard to get it to break up. So you just go ahead and spread it all out. And I do have more bags of this. And then what you want to do, if I can find the shovel, which is behind Donnie, is you want to dig it in. Okay. So now that we've broken up the soil, and see it goes down quite a bit better than it used to, you just want to kind of turn it over, like I've been doing with the rest of my beds, and just get mixed in just a little bit. Just like that. Because this will help break up our clay soil and make it better. This looks so much better than it did before. We pulled out so much garbage out of here, and we got rid of all of the soil with the gravel in it all over here, raked that all out. You can see that there is definitely a color difference between this and that, and that's because of the clay buster. The last step that I'm going to do, that I don't need to show you guys, is I'm going to put the sprinkler on here and water it all down. The only other thing that we might do here is we might go get a couple more bags of clay buster and just put them on top. But this is pretty much essentially ready for planting. So I hope this shows you that even if you have literal garbage soil, you can still make it into good soil. There are just a few extra steps. If you take care of your soil, the plants that come out of it will be amazing. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Happy gardening, everyone.